Catherine Tipper,
and Christopher Tipper.
and this is On the Couch.
Friday afternoon, Bourbon Edition. Today is March 12th, 2021, and we shall be discussing safe harbor plans for you today.
Got my boat glasses on.
Yes, you do. Well, thank you very much for spending some time with us. But before we dive into our conversation about safe harbor plans, Kristina,
Yes.
do we have a Washington update?
Yes, we do.
We do.
They've been busy.
They have?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Well, the Department of Labor has come out and decided that they're not going to enforce any rules regarding ESG investments, environmental, social, and governance
Thank
plans.
you. I'm trying to remember what that meant.
Yeah, I know. And apparently, the rules that were finalized last year were pecuniary,
Right.
okay? Which is a word I'd never heard of before.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what it means?
Kind of like specifically bad against. Something? No?
Money.
Oh, money.
Yeah, that's all it means, money.
Okay.
Now, I could be wrong, but I thought all investments were about money.
Right, yeah.
And apparently there was a category of ESG investments that were deemed not as worthy as, I don't know, a coal mine in West
Right.
Virginia.
Yes.
So they are not going to enforce any of the rules
Right.
in regard to that, and you can use the prudent investment
Right.
rule in ERISA,
Okay.
and you're good. Good to
All right.
go.
Good to know.
Second thing is
we have two things.
two things under the new COVID Relief Act.
Okay.
We talked earlier about multiple employer plans getting a bailout
Right.
in the bill.
Multi-employer defined benefit
Right.
plans, yes.
Well, they also offered one for single employer plans. It's not nearly as good as what the multi-employer plans
Okay.
have. The single employer plans get a fresh start on their underfunding.
Aha.
Aha.
Which means they're still going to owe it, but they have a lot longer to pay it back, right?
Yeah, it's been, the amortization has been amortized over 15 years instead of just 7.
Okay, well, that's good.
And there's also a floor and a ceiling on the rates that they're using to calculate the
Okay.
liabilities.
All right.
So they are holding the new interest rate at 5% for until, let's see, 2025.
Okay.
And then they will increase it 5% each year until it reaches 30%. So if your interest assumption is 30%, your cost of investment,
That's
cost
okay.
of the pension benefits
Okay,
is going to
great.
go way down.
Right.
And so,
Now, but this is what we talked about briefly yesterday.
right,
That we don't have any word on AFTAP.
no,
Okay. All right.
no. But, and the final thing is that, of course, because we have a new administration,
Right.
all of the rules that had not been posted in the Federal Register are under review.
Okay. All right. Very good. Thank you, Kristina.
JK.
You say that and I thought about J.K. Gill. But anyways, all right. Catherine,
Yes.
do you remember when we went to Gig Harbor?
Yes, I do.
Do you remember looking out at the water?
Yes, it was beautiful.
What were you thinking of when you looked at the boats out on the water?
Waffles.
Well, yeah, there was a really, really good waffle place right on the water there. Okay, I was actually going somewhere else with
Okay.
this as we're talking about.
You asked me what I was
Yeah, I
thinking
know.
about.
Okay, what I was thinking of was, wow, that's a really nice safe harbor.
Yes, that is a
It
nice
is.
safe harbor.
And is that what we're talking about when we talk about safe harbor plans?
No.
No, it's not.
Not waffles.
Not waffles. Not waffles. All right. Now then, context is everything inside the government retirement plan. Probably in a lot of things in life. Maybe in some of the conversations I have with my staff as they keep telling me. But anyways, okay. There are numerous different times where we have the phrase safe harbor. Okay. Now you know from when you were doing loans and distributions that a plan sponsor couldn't require that a minimum loan be more than $1,000, right?
Right.
Right. That was a safe harbor. Okay. And it's been a while since I've done hardship distributions, but I remember once upon a time there was a safe harbor definition of what a hardship distribution was. All right. And if you have a contribution formula for employer where everybody's getting either the same percent or the same dollar amount, that's also a safe harbor. Okay. But what we're talking about today are safe harbor contributions. Can you hear the capital S and the capital H? Okay, because I'm saying it. All right. And because Christina's looking at it. What I mean by that is whenever we're talking about a safe harbor plan, we usually write it with a capital S and a capital H because we're talking about a very specific contribution type. Why do we want safe harbor plans, Catherine?
They make testing easier.
They make testing go away.
That's easier.
That's easier, yes. What do you remember some of the contribution options for a safe harbor?
Well, 3% is the easy one.
3%.
And then there's 4%, but 5%, but 6%. No, there's a certain amount
so
of
it's
this.
Okay,
It is.
stop being helpful. All right, we've got the 3% for that goes to all the eligibles. Okay,
I told you that was the easy one.
right. Okay, what is the 4% contribution? That's a safe harbor. I'm waiting for another word.
Non-elective?
Safe harbor rhymes with ratch. Safe harbor
Hatch?
match.
Oh.
There are two ratch match.
Just,
But-
jeez.
But the match is not 4%
Yes, it is.
of the deferrals.
No, it works out to be 4% of their wages, but we still refer to it as a 4% match.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know that.
No, I always referred to it as a percentage of deferrals up to a certain percent of compensation, and that's the match. You shortcut it.
Yeah, which is what everybody.
Is
Anyway.
that a big M or a small M?
Yes, big M. Okay. Now that we've got, so there's the 3% safe harbor non-elective, there's the safe harbor match, okay, and the IRS is giving us a little bit of a get out of jail free card with this, in that you were right, there's no non-discrimination testing for that contribution, all right, and we don't have to worry about top-heavy contributions if the plan is top-heavy, if they're only putting in a safe harbor contribution. What I wanted to do very briefly is hop down into memory lane and go and have a quick look. Yeah, everybody's jumping, okay? And have a quick look at the history of safe harbor rules, okay? You don't remember what safe harbor was like back in 1996, do you?
No.
8 years before you joined the company. Okay.
No.
At the very beginning, safe harbor rules were very, very restrictive, okay? Once you had it set up in the plan for the year, it was very, very difficult to stop the contribution. You weren't even allowed to make changes to the plan during that year. You couldn't add Roth, you couldn't add participant loan, you couldn't make the eligibility election period shorter, but the only thing you could do was change the address, change the trustee, and change the company name, right? Pretty much it. Pretty much it, yeah. Then in 2016, we had our first IRS notice that made things a little bit easier. They gave us a list of what we could change. We could make things better. We could reduce the eligibility waiting period. We could add loans. We could add Roth. We could change the employer profit sharing contribution. Okay, and then the next year, in 2017, they clarified that we could use forfeiture money to cover the safe harbor contributions. All right, and do you remember what happened in 2019?
There wasn't COVID.
There wasn't. It was pre-COVID. The
Pre-COVID.
Secure Act.
Yes.
The Secure Act. So with the Secure Act, they really changed things in that they removed the notice requirement for the 3% safe harbor non-elective. Nothing changed with the safe harbor match, right, Kristina,
Right.
for with the Secure Act?
Right.
So nothing changed with the safe harbor match for the Secure Act, but you did not need the notice anymore. You could even start the safe harbor contribution after the end of the plan year. Yes, it went up from 3% to 4%, but that's bonus because right now the staff is in the middle of testing, and our clients, instead of having to return money, could take the option of making a 4% safe harbor contribution for last year instead of having to give money back.
How long do they have to make that decision?
They have, it's a two-part question.
Yes.
Okay. They had until November 1st of that year
Right.
to add 3%.
Yep.
For that year, and then they have until December 31st of the following year to add the 4%. We are not talking about deductibility, okay?
Yeah, but then there's no penalties.
But there's no penalties, right?
Right.
And you don't have to return money, all right?
And I would say the guiding theory in all of this is they decided not to be harsh on people when they decided to give plan participants more money, right?
Correct.
If you're giving somebody 3%, good job, nice employer, we're happy, right?
Something
Yeah,
like
but think about what hit in 2020
And then 2020 hit, yeah.
and COVID, and profits for some companies nosedived.
Right, but I'm only saying that is like going, hey, you want to do 3%? Nobody's going to argue you out of that anymore. Well.
No, some we will. Did you have some questions for me?
Oh, sure. Why would you do this?
Why would you do what? Safe harbor?
Yeah. Why do people do this?
Why people for a couple of reasons to so that the so that the highly compensated employees could defer the maximum, all right, and it covers your your top heavy minimum required contribution, and if you're going to give a larger profit sharing contribution after the end of the year, it can be part of that.
So it makes some things better.
Yes.
Okay. How prevalent is this? How many of our plans do this?
We've got about half of, I don't know what the averages are from the 5,500s nationally, but most of our clients are under 60, 70 employees, and it seems to be about half of our plans are safe harbor. I'm thinking 75 to 80% of the new plans we've put on in the past 2 years have either 3% or a safe harbor match formula in them.
So it's pretty popular.
Very popular in the smaller plan market, yes.
Now, I know when I started, people would like to walk around and say, hey, that's a safe harbor plan.
Right.
Now, I'm not so sure we say that. We more say it has safe harbor.
No,
Is it baked in? Is it baked in, or is it something that goes in and out?
I understand where you're going with
Okay.
this. Okay. Really good question. Really good question. When it is a safe harbor plan, it's a safe harbor plan. All right. I know, not very helpful. Generally speaking, an employer is only making a commitment for safe harbor 1 year at a time. Is that what you mean? You could theoretically be safe harbor match for 2019, 3% safe harbor for 2020, nothing for 2021, 3% safe harbor for 2022, safe harbor match. You get the point here, okay? You can actually use it, you can even do them both, but you're only making a 1 year commitment.
Yep. So it's year by year.
Year by year, yep.
And if it's the 3% safe harbor, you don't necessarily need to give a notice now.
Right, but there are advantages if you do.
Right. But the other safe harbors, you should.
The safe harbor match you have
You need
not
to?
should, have to.
Well,
Yeah.
should with a big S. And
Okay.
an exclamation point at the end. And that is always 30 days before the end of the plan year.
No, before the start of the following plan year.
It's 1 day different.
No, she said end of the plan year.
Yeah,
End
I
of the
know.
plan year
I know.
is,
Yeah.
well, okay, end of the current plan year is 1 day
For
before the
next year.
beginning of the
Yeah,
next plan.
yeah, you have to do it before the start of the year.
A month before the end of the plan year. No? 30 days.
Okay.
Never mind. Nope. Hey, we have technical answers for this, and you can call us, and we might give you.
The right answer.
That's why you call him. Call Christopher at hunterbenefits.com. But I'm here to give you empathy. And you can ask questions. And you can make it better.
Okay, we're so. Okay, all right. We're trying to wrap this up here.
So at Hunter Benefits, now there's a variety of employees, and some will give you the hard-hitting technical answer and make you feel a little odd asking it, and then you have your comfort people. Comfort for emotional comfort.
Your comfort TPA. There's comfort dogs and there's comfort TPA. All right, I was trying to wrap this up here. Okay.
Are you?
Trying. I was. All right. So before we close here, the top 3 takeaways, hopefully, all right, before we do our like and share and everything else here, okay?
Is that Catherine's funnier with
With bourbon, okay, yeah. Oh, that's, yeah, all right. Number 1, it helps it helps HCEs leverage their contributions. It provides a minimum benefit for active participants, and now it can be added after the end of the plan year. What do you think of that?
Great plan B.
Great plan B. All right. So thank you very much. We really appreciate your time. So what are they supposed to do with the video?
They're supposed to like us, they're supposed to follow us, they're supposed to be stalkers.
Yes. Absolutely. Okay.
And you can go, and if you have specific questions, especially technical ones, send them to sales@hunterbenefits.com. If you want to go to our website, go to hunterbenefits.com. If you need a kind word, please call 847-776-2125 and ask for Catherine.
Oh my God.
All right. We're out. Thank you.